Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am surrounded by Hoya right now. Hoyas. I got a dozen over the summer. So in today's video, it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna show you my my new Hoyas that I got. I'm always conflicted. Is it Hoyas? Is it Hoya? Anyway, I got these as little tiny clippings. So in today's video, it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna show you the before and after. I got these in like June or July from a friend. I have a dozen of them. I'm gonna walk you through what they look like when I first got them to now, just a couple of months later. It's been 3-4 months and one of them is actually blooming. So I'm gonna show that to you. We're gonna just go through some of the new ones in my collection. I have a bigger Hoya video of my entire collection that you could check out right here. But for now, let me show you what I have that's new, and just given how quickly these are growing, I think I'm gonna have a space problem very, very soon. So wish me luck. Anyway, let's jump right in. So this is the box of Hoya clippings that I got. It is about a dozen in here, and I got this from my friend Joyce. Her Instagram name is Melina Catlia. You should check it out. She has a lot of beautiful Hoyas. She lives out in Vegas, and her collection is incredible. It actually made me want some more, so we all suffer together with space constraints. Anyhow, let me show you the first one. The first one is the Hoya Pallilimba. I got this in July in that box, and it took a while to root. I put it in water, and it's starting to push out a new shoot, so it's adapting well. I have it in leca. I find that Hoyas like leca, unlike my orchids, and they tend to take off pretty well. I really don't like the trellis that I have it in. I used bonsai wire for it, and sometimes it's strong and sometimes it's kind of weak. I really don't like this, so I'm going to change that, but I really like this Hoya, so we'll see how it grows. The next one is another pretty one. The foliage is gorgeous. This one's the Hoya Heuscheliana Varigata, and I got this kind of small. It pushed out a few more leaves since I got it in July, so it's growing great. I rooted it in water. I just put the bottom stem in water, and it took off really quickly. They seem to like leca a lot. I look forward to growing this over time. Hopefully I can get it more bushy and clip it and grow it. But look at that flower. This is why I like them so much. Some of these have beautiful, beautiful flowers. So I'm looking forward to growing this one. Okay, the next one is another Hoya Heuscheliana, and this one is the yellow version. And again, this bonsai wire is so weak, so I will eventually replace it for something stronger. But this is what it looked like when I got it, and it's grown nicely. It's not growing quickly, I would say, but it's starting to push out some leaves. It took me about a month to get this one to root. I put it straight up in water. It was fine, a little slow, but now it is going to be growing really nicely. And the flower's just so cute, and a lot of these are super fragrant. So if you like orchids, you know why Hoyas are popular. Okay, the next one is the Hoya Lacunosa Ruby Sue. This was one of the most vigorous ones that I got. So the Lacunosa started like this on the left. It wasn't that big, and now it's like more than twice the size. It's growing beautifully. It rooted very quickly. It rooted within a week. This one has like, the leaves are green, but they tinge a little bit dark. So it's a little different from the regular Lacunosa. It's very nice. It's very, very vigorous. I still can't believe it's grown roots through the pot. I like to show this because it shows you the vigor on these. The flower reminds me of the Kentiana Super Silver that I have. I wonder if it smells the same, but it's very, very floral and very strong. It actually fills up my apartment with fragrance. So we'll see how this does. It's inevitable. It's probably going to bloom in the spring, and I cannot wait for it. Okay, the next Hoya that I have is the Hoya Sigilatis. This is a very beautiful Hoya. I love the silvery leaves on this. Very, very pretty, very different. It's grown well. You could see that the roots are going down the pot, so it's quite vigorous. In terms of leaf growth, it's pushed out a couple of leaves since I got it in July. It took maybe a few weeks for it to root. It didn't take super long, but Again, I gotta change these, that bonsai wire just isn't cutting it. I need something a little bit more thicker. But I do like bonsai wire because it gives a lot of flexibility though. These are the flowers, very beautiful. And as you can imagine, I grow a lot of orchids, but I like Hoyas because they flower and they're fragrant, and the flowers are kind of interesting. Okay, the next one is the Hoya Nummularioides, and this one is already blooming. So this didn't take too long to root. Um, it I got it like this stem over here. The leaf growth hasn't been a ton. It's starting to push out a new shoot right now, but gosh, it's blooming all over the place. It has a very floral fragrance. It's quite strong, very nice. It's still blooming. It started blooming about 10 days ago and it's still going strong. With Hoyas, I feel like the blooms don't last as long as my orchids, sometimes a week, sometimes less, sometimes more, but these are nice and they're super cute and dainty, and I know I'm really gonna like this. I definitely gotta upgrade that trellis though. Okay, the next one is super, super vigorous. This one is the Hoya Iris Marie. If you're a beginner, I highly recommend this one because it rooted like nothing. It rooted within like 2 or 3 days. So that was in July on the left, and now we're in November, and look how big it got. Is that 5 times bigger? I don't know, but it's growing like a weed. The roots are going down the pot very easily. The foliage isn't my favorite. However, it's vigorous and the flower is very cute. So if you're new to Hoyas and you're a little bit intimidated, try something like this. It's going to give you pretty flowers. It's very easy to grow and kind of reminds me of Hoya Bella. This is a very vigorous hybrid. Okay, the next one is the Hoya Parasitica. This wasn't a part of the clippings, but it is a Hoya that I got when I went upstate last month. So I went to like the Albany area, like 3 hours north of New York City. I went to Samuscott Farms. They have a nursery there, and they actually had a few Hoyas. So the interesting part of going to nurseries is that sometimes you'll find unusual Hoyas. You won't find orchids sometimes, but I found this one. It's got like a black margin on the outer edges, which I find very attractive. And the flower is very pretty. So I'm sure it's going to flower for me in the spring. We'll see how it goes. But so far, I'm really liking this one. Okay, the next one is the Hoya Rangsan, and this one is different. I think it was just out of bloom when I got it because there were dried flowers that came off. It took a while for me to root this, actually. It took maybe 2 months. So for the woodier stemmed Hoyas, I end up putting the stem in moist sphagnum moss, and that helps it get going. This one took a while, though. It's starting to push out new leaves, which is fantastic. This is a species, and the flower is very pretty. So we'll see how this does over time, but those leaves are very, very attractive. Okay, the next one is the Hoya Latifolia Snow Queen. And like the Rangsan, this one was a little bit more difficult to root. Again, I find the woodier stemmed Hoyas can be like that sometimes, so I put it in moss. This one I'd say took about 2 months to get going. And then I ran out of leca, so I put it in a well draining mix with a ton of perlite. Um, the bigger leaf Hoyas, they tend to like it. And not all of the Hoyas like leca. Just I found that a lot of them do, not all of them. We'll see how this one does. Um, but this is what the flower is going to look like. So we'll see how it goes over time. But it's a very, very pretty one. The next one is the Hoya Kentiana Varigata. This one actually took me a while to not bloom, to root as well because the stem was a little bit shorter. I ended up putting it in moss and finally it got going. It pushed out a new leaf up top. It's growing on the slower end, no roots through the bottom of the pot yet, but it's taking off. I have the Wayetii, and it is not this variegated, so they're very different. The flowers are quite interesting as well, very pretty. This is what I'm saying about Hoyas. Like they have these really interesting flowers, and they tend to be fragrant. Okay, the next one is the Hoya Mathilde. I got this as a 2-leaf little clipping and I forgot to take a picture of the clipping, but it's starting to grow. I was worried I wasn't going to get it to root because the clipping was so tiny, but it's doing really, really well right now. I can't wait for this to grow. This is the splash version. I have the regular version as well. We'll see how it does. This is what the flower looks like. It reminds me of the Carnosa. This is a hybrid with the Carnosa, so it should be fragrant like the mother plant. Okay, the next one is also very, very vigorous. This one is the Hoya Sunrise, and God, I love the sun stressing on this one. Leaves are turning a little bit purple. So when I got it, it was like a third of the size of what it is right now. I rooted it in water and it took off very, very easily. I have better bonsai wire on this one, so this one's going to hold up. It's a lot stronger. And just look at that sun stressing. It's so beautiful. I think the clipping I had was also in bloom, but that faded, so I can't wait for it to bloom again at some point. Very pretty, very vigorous. Also recommend to beginners. This is also a hybrid. Okay, I also want to show you a few others. This is from a different friend. I got some clippings recently. This is the Hoya Rosita. Very pretty. It's starting to grow right in the water. Like that top part started to grow, and I've been rooting these for 2.5 weeks. So I'll start getting this into leca very soon. I'm just procrastinating because I'm very busy. The next one is the Hoya Collina. And I don't have this one, so a friend gave it to me. I gave her a bunch of my Kentiana Hoya, and I gave her a couple of other things, the Pachiclata, and she gave me this one. It's starting to push out a new shoot, so we'll see how it goes. And then the next one is a more common Hoya. It is the Hoya Chelsea. And I think this one is going to be super easy to grow as well. It is the one all the way on the right. Guys, I cannot stand algae in water. I just can't do it. It's so unsightly to me. But anyway, this is the Hoya Chelsea. I'm going to eventually pot these up. I got to get some leca or something to put them in because I'm out. But these are going to grow massively in the spring. I don't know what I'm going to do with all of this. It doesn't seem like a lot, but they grow fast over time and they will eventually bloom and make me very happy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Clearly, I'm really enjoying these, and I'm gonna be in trouble because I'm gonna run out of space. So, what am I gonna do? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.